Joe, I've been meaning to ask you this for a long time. I know that a lot of people in our community are curious about this. You, I feel like, are a GPT creation wizard. Like for anything we need to do, you're like, oh, I'll create a GPT for that. Oh, I'll create a GPT for that. We even talk about, even in our book, the You're Wrong GPT you created to argue with you because ChatGPT can be very agreeable with whatever you're saying.
Yeah, it's
And
the best thing I ever did.
yeah, it was so smart. But you're just like, oh, I can create a GPT for that. And it's just so great. And so the question we've been getting is, how is Joe doing that?
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Glad you said that because I feel like we should show people. So if you are listening to this podcast, Joe is gonna walk you through the steps, but we're also going to show it on the screen. So be sure to go over to our YouTube channel so you can see everything that he's putting up there, which is just the Aspiring Solopreneur. But Joe, if you can just walk through it. The other disclaimer we need to make is Joe is using a paid ChatGPT version for this. So Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. You cannot create a GPT if you're using free ChatGPT, correct?
I couldn't figure out a way to do that. It seems to be missing. So yeah, I think you got to chip in that $20 a month.
Okay. So that's our disclaimer. But Joe, I'm eager to learn. I'm going to be your student today. Let's see how you do this and hear how you do this.
So it's, chatgpt.com. You probably knew that. And what we have here, if you look over on the left panel, is this section under GPTs. These are all the ones I've created, but there's one that says Explore at the top. At least that's the way it works this week. And if you go in here, you can, look at all kinds of other GPTs that people have made, but you can click this upper right-hand button that says a plus sign and create. So now you're creating a GPT. And what you do here is you can give it a logo if you want. I won't bother with that because it's just to kind of identify it easier. And then you got to give it a name. So I'm going to name this one Lifestar Branding Expert. So this GPT is going to, and I'm going to give it a description, creates content that matches the Lifestar brand. Okay, and I'm going to tell it what to do. So I'm going to say, I want you to create social media posts, blogs, and articles that match Lifestar's brand. Conversation starters is, I guess, something that it will kind of show that they could ask. I don't really need that, but I'll just say, what are we making? And down here, I can upload files. So I'm going to click on that. And I don't know if you can see the files search, but I'm going to go down here. I'm going to look for a file here that I call, this is our brand, current brand. And I'm going to upload that file. And then I can choose a recommended model. What that means is, GPT 4.0, which is the older one. Now they got a 5 Pro and a 5 Thinking. The problem is, I think the 4.0 is free. 5 is available on the $20 a month plan, and like the Pro or maybe it's the Thinking is only available on the expensive plan, the $200 a month plan. So I'm going to leave it at no recommended model. Let them use the one that they prefer. Not really going to share this with anybody outside of the Lifestar family because I don't want other people making out content to our brand. So here now we've got the capabilities. Web search is obviously a useful one. Canvas, if you've used that, it kind of overwrites itself as you work, so you're not using this whole long screen and having to scroll back. So if you create a document and then say, I want to fix this, it'll rewrite it over. And then image creation is nice. I don't need any code for this. So, and then create a new action. I explained that, but I don't really know what it is yet. I think it's got something to do with being able to log into things, so authentication, but I haven't used that. So here, I've basically created a simple GPT, and I could go to the upper right and I click Create. And then I have the choice for how this is going to be used. So I can share it only with myself. I can give it to anyone with the link, and I can give it to the GPT store and try to sell it. I've never done that. I don't do that because all of my stuff goes to creating content for Lifestart and for our members. This one I'm going to leave anyone with the link because I'll probably share it with Carly and Stacy and some other people. So I click Save, and it's thinking. And here's the link that I could share. I'll get that later. And I'm going to go to View GPT and close that little box. So what are we making? So we are making create a blog article on making a GPT. Let's get real meta, and it will come back.
And for people that are listening, he just typed that into like the normal prompt box in ChatGPT.
Using this particular GPT. And it's writing a very nice little blog. I would definitely want to edit this, but it's a nice little start. I probably would have given it much more seed material than that, but I don't want to take the rest of the day doing this. So, but yeah, it just cranks out a nice little blog, which I can then, copy and edit to make it work. Now, the last thing is when you want to get to your GPT, you're going to look in the left corner, the left column, I should say. And as you scroll down, you'll see Lifestart Branding Expert. Yeah, you'll see it twice because I actually created this before, but in my screen. But yeah, and then you just look there, click on it, and it'll create a new, well, if you go and create a new chat and then you go back to it, you can then create a new conversation so that it'll be there for you anytime you need it. So that's really it. Like I said, not hard. The main thing is to think through the things that the training material is obviously critical. You have to have good training material. Thinking through the instructions and that kind of thing is really, really important. But, you can also use ChatGPT to help you create training material for a particular GPT that you're making. So sometimes I would go in and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is all the kind of things I'm thinking. Can you turn that into training content? And let me just go back here. If I go back to edit this GPT again, you can see here in the instructions, I can put a lot of material in here. We could put a lot of details about what to do and not to do. And ChatGPT is really good at creating those instructions if you give it kind of an outline. So that's I think that's maybe the last hack that I would be able to share in terms of doing this. So that's the basics. Go out there, crank out something cool, and I guess let me know if you can make something neat and want to share it.
Awesome. Joe, thank you so much. That's really helpful to follow just to see what you've been doing because, like I said, you seem to crank these out quickly. And as our listeners and viewers saw, that took less than 10 minutes. Obviously, some prep work would have to go into the documents you upload and all that. But to actually build the GPT does not take that long. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, leave that 5-star review, share this episode with a friend, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube. And we'll see you next time on The Aspiring Solopreneur.